Hello, everybody, and welcome to Metaphysical Happy Hour. I'm your host, Cassie Clayton, and we are here with Tracey. And Tracey, you want to say hi?
Hello, everybody. Glad to be here again. Hey.
So, and this week, and then we have this week we have Lori Dixon with us.
Hey, Lori.
Hello. So, Lori, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Because I know you do so many different things. I know you're a spiritual visionary, but there's so many other things that you do as well. So why don't you tell us a little bit of kind of like who you are, what you do?
All right. Well, yes, I'm a spiritual visionary. I am also an international speaker, as well as many different types of therapies that I also have under my belt. And so I many times delve into those therapies and use them to combine with my spiritual gifts for my clients. So I use it in lots of areas. I'm an author. I have a TV streaming show, getting ready to launch a brand new one coming up. And I also have my own podcast. So I'm a little bit of everywhere, but I love doing what I do. So
I just heard that song. I'm a little bit of everything, all rolled up in one.
Oh, yes. Yes, that should be the theme song.
It should. It should. Before the show is like just, doing some research and stuff and just going on your LinkedIn, finding everything that you do. You're a busy, busy lady.
Yeah. But yet every one of them is so much fun. How do you dare put one of them down? You know, they keep coming back up like bubbles. So
yes, I read that you have a book. So I saw the cover and it's what's called Step Out, Step Up, Step Forward. How amazing is that? Like, what was the inspiration behind writing that book? And then maybe even tell the listeners what it's about a little bit.
Sure. Yes, it's about walking in purpose. And because parts of it are from my own life and some of the things that I've had occur on my own journey. But yet on the flip side, I also was on the Real House of Dallas. And so I was able to work with 2 or 3 of the women on there, the cast members. And so their stories and their journeys are also intertwined in there, along with strategies and tools. It was very much a divine download. As I started to write, it was not at all what I thought I was going to write. And as many authors, I remember sitting at the kitchen table and saying, no, I am not going to put that in the book. And guess what? Lo and behold, the answer was, yes, you are. It's in the book. So it was being able to release some of those things, healing not only for myself, but meant to really help others walk on their journey wherever they may be. It is designed for women, but yet many men have picked up the book and found more about themselves, but also about their significant others, mothers, sisters, daughters, things like that. So it's been a journey.
Yeah. For someone who's writing their book too, I feel you, girl.
Man.
Like there are things in there that I want to take out. So I get it. It's a process. It's soul grueling is what I keep calling it. Writing your own story and writing stuff, it's grueling. It can be a grueling process. So congratulations.
Thank you. And I'm getting ready this year to start my next one. So you and I may be doing this as a duo, Yes. It's like giving birth.
It is. It's painful.
Yes, it is painful.
Painful.
Labor pains are real.
You're like, should I say that? You're so worried about how you say something. Should you say it? But it's crazy. At the end of the day, I was meditating on it. And I don't know if this is probably what you did too. And I just kept hearing Spirit said, it's your story to tell. Like, it's your story to tell. And so whatever perspective, anybody can look at anything. It's still your perspective. It is still things that happen to you. And it's still things that happened to you that got you on the path that you're on. Right?
That's right. And those people that are on the path with you or aligning with you, they're going to see themselves in the pages of that book. And it's such a powerful piece to have that realized without you even intending it.
That's true.
So that's the beauty of it.
Is that what you saw
So
from your
keep
book?
going.
What
Yes,
happened?
I
Yeah.
did.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
I love that. I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm going to order your book. I think
Well,
people
thank you.
Can people get it on Amazon?
They can. It's on most of the platforms, so it's ebook as well. But Barnes and Noble, Amazon, they can go to my website as well. And I'll sign them a copy and send it to them.
Oh,
that's where you get the fun autographed one.
That's true. So everybody, it's called Step Out, Step Up, Step Forward by Lori Dixon. And so I'm going to get it. So I'll go to your website so I can get a signed copy.
There it is. There it is.
Aww,
there it is. That's it.
Beautiful picture too.
Thank you.
And,
thank you.
You know, just as a professional who does readings, there's so many people that need that help. So many people. Like they have no direction. You think you're stuck in this place and you just need someone to show you a little bit of the light and how to get there. So I think it's brilliant. So,
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
So I also saw, and I'm going to butcher this word. So Sobona sisters, am I saying that right?
Yes, yay. It's pretty doggone close, Tracey.
Yes.
Cassie and I will give you a thumbs up.
Yes. Say it, Cassie, say it.
Sobona is one of the groups that I'm actually in with Lori as well. So I have been working with them for about, I guess it's like about a year now.
Yeah.
Kind of helping them out with like their graphics and whatever.
So what's the premise behind the group?
Whatever we need. Exactly. Support team. Sobona means I see you.
Okay.
And we felt very strongly a little over a year ago that women truly needed to be seen and that women are rising and that we feel that there is such a legacy that we want to be a part of, that we needed to make sure that connection was possible. And you hear so many people talk about authentic self, where really we're stretching that further and being able to say, I really see you in your true divine essence. There's a difference. And we really, yes. And, we have 7 sacred agreements, and many of them are simple things like, your journey is your journey, but your sister's journey is hers too.
Right.
Where it's that honoring, it's no judgment, it's be present, it's leave what's in the past and keep moving forwards, learn and grow together. Things that are very simple tenets for us to live by in a community. And we've done major events, we've done gatherings every month. Now we're doing small group things on our Facebook page as we're growing back into whatever this year is going to be providing. We also have a live streaming show that our team, the 5 of us who started Sobona, actually have on Zondra TV network. Nice. It's also out on all the other platforms like Roku, Chromecast, Fire Stick, all of the above.
What's it called?
It's called Sobona, I See You.
Sobona, I See You.
It's all about a topic, and we go around very organically and discuss that topic and really look at it from 5 different viewpoints so that you actually feel what we do in our gatherings and you can witness that. Yeah. So it's a lot of fun. So we're getting ready to do some more new things again in that regard too. Streaming is where it's happening. I mean, look at us tonight.
Oh, right.
We're streaming. We're on every device.
Yeah. Well, I think that's brilliant, just bringing women together, because then you get different perspectives, you get different looks, you get different experiences. So yeah, I love what you're doing.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, you do so much. We could talk all hour, but I noticed on your balance and bliss. What is that about? Is that
okay? Balance and bliss is actually one of the things that I teach. And I will tell you, there's lots of people that believe out there that there is no such thing as either, actually, that balance doesn't exist. It's a myth that we are always striving for. but yet you're looking at balance very differently. And we look at balance, and I look at balance when I work with my clients, is mind, body, and spirit alignment. There's a very big difference. And it's how to learn to be very in tune with when the energies are flowing the right way for you, and when they feel stuck, and when they feel uncomfortable, so that we're learning to notice and observe how energy and vibration works within our body. That's really what balance is for us. Bliss is that as we become more spiritually and physically and mindfully aligned, we start to walk in what really is true joy. And since bliss is one of the highest vibrations, it's where we find, we're not in complacency. We're all the way up there with love and joy and compassion, so that we can truly resonate that out, not only for ourselves to experience healing, but for those around us, because we are all part of this beautiful alignment, this matrix.
Right.
And every time I heal a little, you heal a little.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
You spread the energy, you spread the vibration out. Like I talk a lot about that in my client sessions too. Like, vibration's everything, right? So you attract, right? Like attracts like, all that stuff.
Yes.
So
yes.
good. And we're walking proof of it. I'm walking proof of it. Like 5 years ago, nothing like I am today. It's all because of that healing process and raising my vibration and allowing good stuff to come in, because now you realize you deserve it, and we're all deserving of it, right?
That's right.
Everybody has a story though. So what brought you from like therapist, but what's the story? How did you get spiritual? Like what brought you there?
Well, I have always been spiritual. Okay. I knew that I had unusual gifts around 2 years of age. I recently did an interview very, very in-depthly around that whole awakening for me at 2. Things that I shouldn't have known, shouldn't have been able to do. Of course, totally freaked my mom out.
Sure.
And so I kind of around the house would be labeled as, okay, don't go do the weird stuff. And so I learned how to put that into my belief system, my faith, things like that. And then I walked in my faith walk along paired with my professional life. So as I started coming aware of things that I shouldn't have any evidence or knowledge of, then I would go get another degree or another certificate or another whatever, take another class, not because I didn't know the information yet, but because I needed to show the evidence of it.
Right.
Right. And our world has had to be very evidence-based. Research, evidence-based. That's the world that I came from. That was my world. Very medical model. I came from working with children and youth and families with very, very severe behavioral, as well as some learning aspects on a huge gamut, where I was dealing with all sorts of things with children. And I knew that if I didn't tap into my spiritual side, I wasn't going to be able to help them heal. And it's why I had such a great success rate. But yet I couldn't say it was coming from the spiritual side. So I was able to interweave it under what I already had degrees in.
Interesting.
And so it was the way that I still do my work. I have clients that I talk about just very cognitive development, very cognitive coaching, very behavioral. And if that's where they are right now, then that's where I'm going to meet them. And then I can start to lead them.
Right.
So that's the beauty of it. But they still don't know that it's like sprinkling fairy dust.
Sprinkle the fairy dust.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, I feel so much better.
It's the world we live in. People want certifications. They want validity. They want the science behind it, right? I think that's why I chose mediumship, because I could prove it, right? I guess I chose evidential mediumship because I want to be able to prove to people that I can do what I can, and that it's not hocus pocus, and it's not made up, and it's not scamming and things like that. And so I get it. And so it was really important to me to be certified and to get the credentials, right? So people will take you seriously. So I think that's the world we live in, especially in America, when it comes to spiritualism and spirituality. It's just kind of where we live. This is crazy. So congratulations. What does it mean, though, to be a visionary coach? Tell our listeners, like, what kind of help do you give people?
What I tend to do is within a session, especially in the first 30 minutes, I really get an essence of that person. I already am aligning and in tune inside of them. I'm already going through and finding things and helping them with them. But then I want to hear them talk about it, because that means that's what's at, front and foremost. That's where they want to begin their journey. And then I do what's taking them on an I am journey.
Okay.
And I look at the entire timeline of their life and finding out where their I ams are now, how those were developed and established, which is really their core beliefs about themselves. And then whether or not we need to go dip in a little bit behind them in the past and take a look in the steamer trunk, or whether or not, I'm going to unzip their purse and it's right there with them right now, or if they're really coming because they've done all that work and they need to see forward. I have the ability to do a lot of envisioning. I can see, I hear spirit, I bring forth words of whatever in that moment that they are needing. And then the other half of me, so the spiritual side works many times first, then the other half will start to help them down the path. And then I have tools and strategies that I've developed that I can help them put in place. Sometimes I ask permission to record sessions because I'm getting so many divine downloads at that moment that I want to turn around and say, whoa, that was good. Can I use it again? So it's really where my strategies have been developed. Many of them have come through that way. Others are part of the training that I have received, like in art therapy, things like that. But then it's a way of being able to unify the two of them together. So we do all of that in a session.
That's crazy.
And then I give you homework.
You're the second person I've heard of art therapy. Yeah. Like, I have a client all the way in Washington, and that's what she does, the art therapy. And so she recommended it for a loved one of mine who was dealing with some trauma. So I think it's fascinating, that whole thing.
It is. I got very in tune with art therapy and music therapy back when I was working with my youth. And kids were coming out of psychiatric centers and were really needing to tap back into something that really was a gift within them. It was their essence, and it was a way in the door that we could really release that for them. It was a beautiful way. So I still do it. I did it this last weekend with a client.
Did you?
It was a blast. I had so much fun because what we thought we were doing a project in ended up 15 minutes before I had all the materials out. Spirit decides to go, by the way, I've changed this and we're doing this. I was like, what? So we did, and it was fabulous. So yeah. It's a great medium.
Yes. Yeah. I usually tell my clients too, who are in the healing journey, is to get creative, learn to paint, just tap in. I mean, and then maybe that's where the art therapy comes. Is you tap into your own soul, you tap into your own divine self and help heal some of those wounds that way. I know when I was going through my healing journey, I started painting. Not that I could paint anything, but the colors became super important to me and vibrant to me, and just the creativity part of it helped me on my healing journey. So same thing. It's all amazing stuff. All amazing.
It is. And it's all just part all different tools for us to be able to use in just the right way for someone.
Well, I think you have a huge toolbox.
Oh, well, thank you. And likewise, my dear.
We actually have a comment from one of our viewers, and I'll throw it up here on the screen really quick. She just says, I can't believe how Spirit led me to listen tonight of all odds. And the subject matter is right on track with my life.
Oh,
Spirit's amazing.
Oh, Whitney, that's fabulous.
That's awesome.
We're glad to be here to be a conduit. I always say we're just a conduit. We're just meant to open up our mouths and allow it to pour out with whatever you're needing right now.
I love that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Tell people where you're based out of. How can they find you?
I am out of Dallas area in Texas. Nice. I travel all over for different clients and different events, but predominantly I'm here like Cassie is. And it's great. It's right in the middle of the country, so it makes it really easy to hop somewhere.
It does. It does. And then you can find you on walkwithlori.com. Tell me about how you came up with the name Walk with Lori. Because of your walk?
Yes.
Experience?
Yes. It's so perfect. A friend of mine was helping me rebrand about 5 years ago. And I still have my company name that is slightly different. Okay. But they came up with, Lori, everything people do is they just walk with you. And I do write about in the book. I originally, my logo had 2 Adirondack chairs sitting on a beach, because when I went through my journey, I was alone. Mm-hmm. And most of the time I knew I had to do the healing by myself, but yet I also knew who to reach out to if I needed someone. And when I was finished, Spirit said, Lori, there are people out there that don't have that. You need to be sitting in that Adirondack chair with them, or walking down the beach, holding their hands. Mm-hmm. And you walk with them when they need you. You walk in front of them or behind them or parallel when they don't. And it was like, okay, that's what it's about. So that's where it came from.
I think it's beautiful because it encompasses everything you do, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah. When you go speaking, do you speak on the book or do you speak on whatever subject? It doesn't matter.
It depends on what people are really, what the theme of something is. I do a lot of speaking on the book. I used to do extensive speaking on it. Okay. I've been talking a lot lately about the comfort zone and why the comfort zone, because I do cover it in the book, and why the comfort zone is the first step of the journey. And that the comfort zone is not a bad place. It's actually a healing and healthy place. And we all need to remember to go back there when we need it.
I think that's fabulous. I think our listeners could learn a lot from that. So to stay in your comfort zone to heal, is that kind of what you're saying? To stay there to heal? Okay.
Yep. And as long as you're doing it in a healthy way, if you're staying so long that you're starting to feel isolated, that you're starting to feel depressed, if you're starting to feel that it's not safe anymore to walk out, then that's a very different story. And that's when you need all of us to be able to be there with you, to walk, holding your hand, letting you know that you're safe to walk out in a few steps. But the comfort zone really does have its own journey, and it has its own strength and purpose that we gain. So that's one of the reasons why I try to speak about it frequently, especially during COVID last year. Because if you think about it, before one of the most major shifts in our universe and in our own country, we had to be in the comfort zone. It was like, boom, you're not going out of your house anymore.
Exactly.
And we had to learn to live through that.
Why was that so hard, do you think? It was hard for me. Desperately hard.
Yeah. It's probably also, and what I'll pick up on, Tracey, is the fact that you're a people person, but you're also highly reflective. And so you need to have touchstones of going out and then coming back in and rooting down into it, writing, learning, really absorbing it to then be able to go out again in connection. And last year, people, there was an odd feeling around connection. There was a very big fear that was released in our world. And so now it's teaching them how to overcome and release that fear, because we all still have a part of it, even if it's as small as a grain of sand. It's all still there.
It's all still there. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I had an aha moment, I think, because I really struggled. And then I think I ran across a psychologist on Instagram said, staying busy can be a trauma response. And that was the first time I'd ever heard that. So my life of traveling, I was traveling every other week from Charlotte to Texas, back to Charlotte to Texas. And then when COVID hit and I was stuck in my house permanently, it became a really bad issue. But again, like the reflection, I was reflecting way too much, right?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Well, and I will say this, just like as part of like, I know my healing journey, like, I mean, Tracey has been probably one of the people in my life who's been like a solid rock through a lot of it, and through all of it.
Too much credit.
And then Lori, you and I have spoken as well, and so I love it when we can bring people, bring women together and have these conversations, because it's like both of you and have been significant in that and helping me move move forward and through. And I just love you both for that. And that's just awesome.
Thank you.
So we'll give you some love, girl.
We love
you too. We love you too.
Yeah.
And I will say, Cassie, I mean, you of all people, you had a huge, massive shift in life last year. You like grew into your own in such a beautiful way and let go of some stuff. And, it was like, yeah. I mean, you were just working through it, girl. And I mean, look at that. It just completely released you. You're lighter.
Yes.
Yeah,
so it's beautiful. Now. You're doing amazing, girl.
Yeah.
You're just along for the ride. That's all.
That's right. We all are.
Yeah. See, it's amazing. But it's amazing when you surround yourself with the right people, right?
Yes.
I think that's key, right? If you're around people that's toxic or you're around people who don't support you, then those aren't your people. And it's okay to say those are not your people and to move through them.
Well, and sometimes it's really scary to say those aren't my people, because then you're not sure where you're going next. And so I think a lot of the reason we hold on sometimes is because even though it's not good, it's what we know. And so letting go, and then I remember after a huge shift for me, I really sat down and I said, these are the types of people I want in my life. Mm-hmm. And these are the qualities I want to see in them. These are the things that I want to have prevalent in the people that are in my life. And, then Tracey, you and I started spending more time together, and it's just kind of everything has like developed from there. And it's like, I mean, there are a lot of other people who have come into my life since as well. And it's just been great.
And I think for our listeners, it's important because you don't know how many people out there are struggling the same thing. They're staying in relationships that aren't healthy because they're afraid of the unknown, or they're afraid that there's nobody else out there. So people stay stuck, right? And it's just important to know you don't have to. I tell everybody, your number one goal this lifetime is to be happy. Go be happy. Whatever that means for you, be happy.
That's right. And find your balance and bliss, because if you're not in that alignment, you feel it. And we develop things like health concerns and challenges. And the more we ignore them, the deeper that they get. And one of the things I was going to laugh about when you said that too, Cassie, is, I've worked with a lot of people over the years with dating. Okay.
Yes.
Dating, relationships. That's one of the big things, that's always on the forefront. One of the big questions. And I always said, you know, you guys sit there and you have this list of like 50 things that this other person is going to have, right? 50 things that if they're going to be in my life, they have to have every one of the boxes checked. But yet our best friends and the people that we align our life with, who we spend all of our time with, we don't have a list.
Exactly.
No.
And it's like, how did they get in?
Yeah.
You know?
And actually I just saw like there was something that I just saw. It was like probably on Instagram or something like that, but it's like, show me the top 5 people that you spend your life around, that you hang around with, and I'll tell you what your future is.
Yes.
Right. It's true.
Yeah.
And so when you do shift and you do change and you do kind of like level up a bit and say, this is what I accept in my life, and this is like learning to set those boundaries, it's like the number of people, the people who tend to enter, it's like, oh man, awesome.
That goes back to vibration, right? You raised your level, you raised your vibration. So guess what? You're going to attract the right people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I always say the other ones start feeling uncomfortable.
They do.
And they don't come around as much. It's when we think we need to lower our energy so that we can still be with them. And because we sometimes are struggling with that little movement up and leveling up.
Yeah.
But when we finally do, it's letting them be where they need to be, that maybe healing's going to occur because we did move on.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
You know, they want to level up themselves. We were saying it was okay to be complacent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah.
I'm on the other side of healing, y'all, is an amazing life. I'm just going to say, if you can just get through the healing, then that's where the magic starts happening for you. Just get through the healing. Yeah. Well, do we have any more questions? Anything from people?
Well, we do have a comment from Brittany. She said, I found the most amazing people as I've started to open. The negative ones slowly move away. It's amazing. So,
yay!
Yeah.
Cheers, Brittany. Yes.
Absolutely.
So true.
So true. And Kat came on, and hello, Kat. And she said that's the key. That's the key. Alignment and boundaries are good.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Hey, Kat. You are so right, girl. We got to be all aligned. That's right.
Yeah. It's so simple, right? When you're through it, it just, on the other side, it just seems so simple. We as humans make it super complicated, but it really is simple.
We do. Well, and I tend to tell people that, you know, every single step every day matters.
Mm-hmm.
And you think that it's only the big jumps that matter, when really every single step matters, because if they're aligned with you, then you're going to be in bliss no matter where you are in the journey. So if you're still healing, you're still going to be in bliss. And I want to use an example of that, if that's okay. Cassie knows this, and some people do. A lot of my clients do. And I feel very strongly that I meant to say this tonight. And I don't know if it's because there's someone else out there that needed to hear this. But part of my journey over the last probably 8 years has been that I have very severe autoimmune. And a lot of the time when we find people that are empaths and healers and, you know, whatever we want to say, any type of spiritual gifts that you feel that you have and that you know that you're called to do, sometimes we have experienced some of those health challenges just getting to where we are. And they have become just a piece of the way that we're healing in our journey. And through my healing, I have had some very, very deep spiritual experiences. And when I go in to my doctor's office now, they look at my chart and they tell me I shouldn't be here because I almost died twice. And they really are like, there's no reason you're walking around and working a job every day, Lori. And it's like, well, but that's why I'm here. I'm not here to work a job. I'm here for my purpose and my passion. And so when I go in, they'll be like, I'm looking at your numbers. You're sick. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm healing. And they're like, you are the most happy, joyful person when you come in here.
Yes.
And it's because I know that that's only one way of defining me. And it's a way that I can show miracles and healing in action every single day when I get out of bed. That's a miracle in itself.
Exactly.
You know?
And I think there's something to that. I have an autoimmune disease as well. I suffer from Hashimoto's. And I'm on a lot of Facebook groups, and people suffer. Like they can't get, and I'm not, can't tell with me. But I think that's because of the healing I'm done. I'm not going to let it define me. There's so many other things that define me that's just a piece that I don't even consider. Does that make sense? It's weird.
Totally. Yeah. And when we acknowledge it and say, I just happen to be this way, so I want to make sure that I'm taking extreme good care of myself so I can do the same for you.
Right, exactly.
And it's our way of passing that on, but we never lose the joy in the middle of all that. Even on the couch days.
We don't. We're still happy.
You know? Yes.
I tell my clients, you got to be happy from the inside out, where you just, you're happy. Nothing's making you happy. You just are in a state of complete bliss. I guess you say bliss, I say happy, same thing, right? Yes. You're just in that state. Yeah.
Yes.
I Tracey, as you're saying that, like, I got reminded of like the video that you did on, I think it was one of your TikToks, where you're like, your like is extra.
Yeah. I like myself today. Your like is extra. That's it. Like, I don't need your like, right? I don't need it. I'm good. I like me.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Oh.
Yeah, it is. It's the truth. It's the truth. And that's where I want, just like you, that's where I want all my clients to be. And then just like you want all your clients to experience this state of where you're blissful and happy and nothing else matters.
That's right. And part of it too is, I think, when we've all been given journeys that were really challenging, I mean, living from hell and back, literally, and going through lots of pain to be able to get where we are so that we really learned what that feels like. It allows us to be so much more compassionate and understand where people are. Yes. And know what healing really feels like.
Yeah.
And I think we had to go through that. I wouldn't have traded that. Now, wait a minute. There's a few days I may have, but but for the most part, I would say that we really want to be able to be who we are and be only defined by the best moments of our life.
Right.
Yeah.
But all my trauma and tragedy got me here.
That's right.
It got me happy in the weirdest
way.
It
got you happy.
It got me happy. It's weird.
Yes.
And now I want to share it with the world, and I want to help heal everybody else and help people. And so,
yeah.
So
Exactly.
it's crazy how it all works.
Love it.
Yeah. So we're going to do readings. You want to do some readings?
Yeah.
Ooh. Yes. Lori has her deck. The simple step.
If you are on and you would like a reading, I know we've already had a few people asking, but go ahead and just drop a comment in, and we will start just whoever we're drawn to. We're going to go ahead and start grabbing that, and we will. Whitney, I do see your comment. I saw it earlier in the feed, so we will pull that comment. But yeah, everybody else who wants a reading, just go ahead and comment and let us know you're open for one, and we will all pull a card and see what we got.
Lori's going to use her deck, and I'm going to use my deck. So I have my own deck as well, called Messages from Above. And then Lori's deck is called Simple Steps for Igniting a Purposeful. Did I get that right?
Purposeful, intentional life.
Perfect. Thank you.
And then I also have an angel card deck with me, and the box is over there because I forgot to bring it over here. So
Right.
I will put it drop it in the comments later. The deck is back. All right, so we're gonna start with Whitney Harden. And she says, this one is actually for her daughter. And so anything we can tell her with the intention set for her daughter. So go ahead.
Oh, okay. You want me to go first?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll go first. So Whitney, for your daughter, I got the Soar card. It's a beautiful card. Let me just show you how pretty it is. So it's the hummingbird, right? And it says, you're meant to be even greater than you are. So if I remember right, I believe we have a really gifted child, right? And so I think just supporting her and being open and supporting her gifts 100%. She's meant to be something spectacular. You're just here to nurture her along, right? She's going to be incredible. I would try to teach her not to be fearful. I would try to teach her things around fear and to walk in her own light. I think that's going to be super important. I think as children, there may be some inward moments with her. I think she does a lot of inward stuff and self-reflecting stuff and just kind of goes in. So it's going to be mama's job to kind of bring her out of that, right? So again, I feel a really strong connection to the hummingbird. So maybe that's something you ignite in her to start giving her something. So like a symbol or like an animal totem, I would start with the hummingbird. Yeah.
So the card that I drew is the Rubelite card. And this card, it's really awesome the way that it looks. It's all about passion and purpose. And it says, your enthusiasm gives you energy and motivation to work on a meaningful project that's dear to your heart. So again, right in alignment with what Tracey was saying, it's like just support her in what she's doing, because there is just a lot. You can even see it in the card. It's like all this energy that's up here and it's just going up and outward. And so you just being supportive of her gifts and where she's going, because she is meant to do great things.
Very much agree. I will add that I also think that your daughter, because she is going inward a little bit and really looking at why she is so different than other people, she's also searching for people in her own age group that align with her in a variety of different ways, so that she feels that she even has that really wonderful friend that she can talk with a little bit more, that also thinks a little bit more the way that she does. She's also doubting many of the gifts and not owning and not claiming what's being shown in front of her. I feel real strongly that part of it is about letting her be doing, what am I? What is my I am? And starting to look at that creatively. And I almost get a sense, we were talking about our therapy earlier, but getting her to journal and do some creative journaling, getting her to even draw, or getting part of that out of her and let her talk that through is going to be very important. The card I pulled for her, I felt was really important as well. And it's all about letting her envision her life. It's standing on that mountaintop with her arms out and saying, I am free. My life is amazing. And I am going to envision forwards this that I want to carry into that next step of my life. And so if I can read this in here, it's all about seeing life through fresh eyes. It gives us the ability of hope and a newfound view of opportunities that await us. Envisioning helps us illuminate our path forward with purpose to cast a beautiful glow in the darkness. And so I get that real sense where that may, and I hope will resonate with you and definitely with your daughter.
Oh, that was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That was great, team.
Yay, team.
Woo, yeah.
So, all right. So let's do, let's go with Britt Hensel. Hey, Britt.
Hey, Britt.
Sure, she's open.
She's open. She's like, yes, I'll go first. Britt, I pulled the perspective card for you. It's time to look at things beyond your own keyhole. So it's got the key, right? And so sometimes in life, we are so close to a certain situation that it's hard for us to see clarity and see perspective. And so I want you to zoom out of the situation that you're going through. And I want you to see it from like a bird's eye view and see the lessons that are kind of going on. So when you zoom out, you can see more clearly and gain kind of some better perspective around the situation. It feels like to me, like a lot's kind of going on. And so I want to give you this piece of advice. There's a lesson in everything. And once you learn the lesson, you can move through it and move on from it. So perspective is your key word to focus on for the next 2 months. Okay.
Okay. And the card that I just got for you is it's turquoise. And the message that goes with it is your true beliefs are becoming clear to you, which prompts you to make necessary life changes. So again, and actually, as you look at the card, and I'm not sure it even shows up very well on the screen, but there is this like path of energy that's coming from like the head. And so to me, that is kind of saying, okay, seeking that like higher perspective, you know, and also it's kind of trusting a little bit more about trusting your own instincts as you maneuver through all these. I kind of trailed off there, but it was like as you're maneuvering through like all these things that you're dealing with and kind of getting that different perspective on it, it's going to give you something and where it's easier to trust that things are going to become clearer for you and it's going to be easier for you.
Good job.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, I love this. I love being able to do this. It's like synergy, you know? Woo! Oh, yes. Britt, I also am, again, aligning with my two special friends here. And we talked about this concept a few minutes ago, and I have a feeling it's why you tuned in, and it's comfort zone. And it is very much about things that you have become extremely comfortable in, things that you're okay with, things that it's like, well, you know, that's where they are right now, so that's just okay. And it is about gaining some more perspective. It is about getting those divine nudgings to start to move you a little bit and to have you start looking at all the blessings that are around you right now, that if you don't take advantage of, you know, sometimes they do keep moving. And so I want to read very quickly a little bit of the back that says, a comfort zone is a place or a situation where one feels safe or at ease without stress. We struggle to step out of its safety because we are wired to seek out comfort in our own lives. It's natural and it's neutral for us to be able to live, where stress and anxiety is actually at its lowest. So it allows us to regroup and plan out our next steps. And so right now, that's where you are. So tomorrow, you're going to start saying, okay, what one step, how can I shift perspective so that I see the comfort zone differently and I see an opportunity differently? I see what's coming for me differently. I see my life around me differently. So, girl, you got this.
I love it. Love it.
Love it.
We got this.
Woo-hoo, yeah.
We do. All right. So we have somebody who is watching all the way from Greece.
Wonderful.
So
She came from my TikTok.
I'm not even going to try to say her name properly because I will mess it up. But we are so excited that you are here with us. And
It's the same name on TikTok, so I can't help out at all.
we love that you are here. And I wish Tina,
I
you
think
just
Costantina. Yeah, Costantina.
Okay. So we will put that.
Tina, yay!
Yay!
Woo-hoo!
We're so excited.
Love
We
it.
love it.
Okay, Tina. I love it too. Tina, you got the control card. There's the control. And control says the only actions you can control are really your own. And so once we learn that, like personally, I found peace when I finally figured that out. When you realize that you can no longer other people's actions and reactions, really the only thing you can simply control is you. And so working on that inner healing and that inner strength to balance your own control and how you react and what you allow other people to do to you that causes a reaction, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So your word for the next couple of months is learning to control, just to control your actions and reactions and not. For example, today I had a troll on my TikTok account who called me a fake, ugly hag, right? Now, I could have lost my control and allowed that to affect me. But then I had to realize this person knows nothing about me, has no idea the kind of human being I am and what I do for people, right? They're just trying to get a rise out of me. So back in the day, maybe when I wasn't as confident, I would have let that affect me personally, and I would have probably cried about it or sobbed about it. But I've learned my own self-worth, and I guess I want you to learn from me. Have your own self-worth, have your own confidence, so that nothing anybody else can do can affect you. And when you can rise your vibration that high, then you'll start attracting all the beautiful things in life. But start with control. How do you let people affect you? All right, there you go. Next.
Absolutely. Well, the card that I got is the titanium rainbow quartz, which is just a gorgeous card. There's so much going on with it, but the message that comes with it is multifaceted. There are many layers and dimensions to the situation or person you're asking about. And so just as Tracey's saying, there's so many different things that are going on with other people, or maybe they're seeing something from a different perspective. Maybe maybe they had a bad day before they walked in the room, or they're just lashing out because they got hurt. You can't control any of that, but all you can control is you. And so just learning to kind of have that center and that grounding, you're going to find a lot more peace there.
Good job.
Ooh, yeah. And I do love that card. Ooh, yeah. Well, as we start, Tina, I have to tell you that when your picture popped up, I had goosebumps all the way down my left side, which is usually validation that something magical is happening today. And it's still going. So I'm getting vibrations all the way down of validation. Those that know me know that that's one of my signs of that we really are speaking truth with you today. I will tell you, girl, you have some deep spiritual gifts. I can feel them. They're at the back of my neck. And so I want you to know that it's also time for you to step out in who you really are. And the card that I pulled today, which is one of my unusual ones, is called Steps. I don't know if you can see it. It's called Steps of Transformation. And right now, it is all about you taking those first steps towards transforming into who you really are. And again, as I said earlier, it's own it. Own these steps, guys. This is important right now. And actually, we are being given such call to actions these days. We don't have time to waste. It's not 20 years ago when we all were like, well, maybe I'll take that on. No, we are asking you to be part of us. Mm-hmm. And so I'm calling you forth. And so in our steps of transformation, I'll read a little bit here. It's getting darker for me in here. As we take our own steps in life, each comes sorry guys, my light, I'm losing my light tonight. The meaning in our hearts. We start to find out that these things are heartstrings that we have to pull on and deal with. Pull on those heartstrings and say, which direction are they leading me in? It shows us that positive steps of creativity, opportunity, faith, hope, and love are all there. Challenging steps of loss, lack, and lessons are all just part of the journey. Each step has its own set of emotions and transitions, which are connected to their corresponding heartstring in your life. So if we've been pinging on a little heartstring for you, then that means that's the first one that you need to start working on. Feel those, write all the sensory words around how it makes you feel, and they will start to come forth and show what their true purpose really was in your life. But girl, you're being called to action. Big time.
Good job. Yeah. Love it.
Absolutely.
Come one of us. Be one of us.
Yes. Join the tribe.
Join the tribe. We welcome everybody.
Do the thing. All right. We've got about 5 minutes left. Do we have time for one more?
One more quick one. Let's do
One more quick one. All right.
Quickie.
We've got Jamie McCurdy, and she says, hey, I love a card reading. Hi, Tracey. It's Light Slinger from TikTok.
I love you guys. I love you. Oh, Jamie, you would never guess what card I pulled. Conflict is the card I pulled for Jamie. So, and it's so funny because I know Jamie and I know some of her stuff. So she's like in a bit of a conflicting situation at the moment. And I want you to zoom out of it and understand the people and the players in the conflict and know that they're human and that they're going through their own journey, right? And that they're a part of your journey for a reason as well. So figuring that out is going to be super important. But all roads leads to your spiritual connection. So I know your story. So it's time to connect spiritually to kind of remove yourself from some of that and to find the answers that you're searching for. I love you so much. She's one of my moderators. So I'm just going to say, I love you. Okay, go ahead, Cassie.
So I got the card Ruby, which I love the message that comes into it. So it's bless your heart. Reach out for emotional and spiritual support to heal and mend your heart.
Amen.
Ooh.
And I just feel like that's the message. I'm not even going to go any further. I think that says it. Lori?
I'm ready. Okay. This one is a poem. It's one of the cards that I have that you actually, after hearing the poem, will write what your intention from this is. And so the poem goes like this. Always remember, you are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. And if you don't know the wisdom of Christopher Robin and Winnie the Pooh, it is a powerful statement that we all need to be resonating with in our life. And Jamie, I have goosebumps head to toe, girl. So you are, own that essence and let it shine. Yeah. Let it out there. It's going to lead you in a whole new direction. So.
Can I share? I have a same card. It's called Strength, right? And it says, you're stronger than you think and more powerful than you believe. So it's part of my deck as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
Just want to share.
Love it. I love it. I love that quote. And it's I think I feel real appropriate for that tonight for Jamie too.
Me too.
Yeah.
So tell everybody one more time where they can find you everywhere.
Okay. You can go to Walk with Lori on Facebook and Instagram. You can check out my website at walkwithlori.com. And on Mondays, listen on any of your favorite podcast platforms for the next episode of Walk with Lori. And next week is one of my own, very own Housewives of Dallas, Stephanie Holman. So you got to come on.
I'm a fan.
Oh, yay!
I watch it every week.
I love it. Well, she's going to be on, and we're going to be talking about her journey and what's coming next for her.
Love it.
So join us.
Yes. So Tracey, really quick, tell everybody how they can reach you.
So I am under all platforms under the Red Couch Medium, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. All my booking links are attached to every single platform. So yay, that's how you can get me. And then Cassie, tell them what you do.
So this week has actually been a very interesting week for me because everything was under Odd Ends, and I am rapidly shifting. I decided to merge the two, Odd Ends and Stargazers, because I kind of had both going.
Yep.
And I just kind of decided that Stargazers Unite focused more on what I was more aligned with. And so kind of it's been Odd Ends, but you can start finding me on Stargazers Unite and under all of shifting everything over. So so that's kind of an exciting thing that's been going on this week. So
congratulations. Yay.
So awesome. Woo!
So
well, thank you for joining us, all of our fans out there and my TikTok fans for coming over. I appreciate you so much. And we'll do it again, right? When's the next one, Cass?
Yes.
So our next show coming up is going to be on we do this every second and fourth. So the date is eluding me at the moment.
Okay, I know I put you on the spot.
But
so not next week.
Really quick, what's the date?
26th.
The 26th. So
Yes.
May 26th. Okay. So, and actually what's really cool about that is we've got there's a psychic fair that's been going on here in Dallas, and it's the oldest running psychic fair like in the nation. It's the Dallas Psychic Fair. And so we have the owner of that, who is, her name's Cheryl Andrea, and she will be coming and joining us on our next show. So we're very excited. With that being said, everyone, thanks so much for joining us. We've had a blast, and we will see you next show.
Thanks for having me on, guys.